we are about to present and talk about is Phantosmia. And I'm very glad to have here with me the team of the film. I would like to welcome the actors, the producer, and the director, and I would encourage the audience to applaud them as I announce them. I would like to start with the actor Dong Abai.
Hello.
We have then one of the other actors, Paul Jake Paule. Actress Janine Gutierrez. The producer of the film, Paul Soriano. The actress and supervising producer, Hazel Orencio. The lead actor, Ronnie Lazaro. And finally, the master, Lav Diaz. As a way to start the conversation, I would like to ask Lav about the title of the film and this concept of phantosmia. Can you tell us if it's something real? How did you get to know about this olfactory hallucinations and how this ailment created the narrative or was an inspiration for the narrative?
Yeah, years ago I was. All right. Years ago, I was one of my relatives was confined to a military hospital in the country, and we stayed there for almost a month. And yeah, there's a section where there's a lot of these combat duty personnel who were having traumas with the very violent confrontations with the Filipino Communist movement members and the Muslim secessionist movement in the country then. So I talked to the doctors and counselors there, and one of the problems was phantosmia, some kind of an olfactory problem springing from the trauma of violence. Yeah. And I used that as a metaphor for the film to confront a violent past.
We already have a question here on the third row, please. Either one of the two.
Congratulations, Lav, on this film.
Thank you.
Can you talk about the challenges you encountered because this film almost did not get made, and how Paul Soriano came to the rescue? Yeah. Talk about that.
We were preparing for more than 2 months. We prepared sets, all this, the penal colony set up. And we have this big network supporting us, a big actor support as the lead actor. And then 2 days before the shoot, the actor arrived. We were so happy that he's already there. And then he said, I couldn't do the film. And of course, the network withdrew. And before that, Paul and I were communicating, brother, what are you doing now? So we were in constant communication. And then he visited 2 weeks before that. And then, of course, when the actor quit and the network quit, and it's almost Christmas, and we're like, what are we going to do? There's no money, there's no actor, blah, blah, blah. And we reached out to Ronnie, can you come? And then Paul, I said, Paul, can you help me? And he said, yes, that's it. We're shooting. We started shooting immediately. He is the savior of the film, Paul, the saint. So now we have the film here. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, maybe do you want to comment on this?
Yes, I remember visiting Lav about a week, 2 weeks before his shoot. He showed me the whole sets of Phantosmia. He showed me even some of the actors were there. I know Hazel was also there. We spent I think the whole day around Quezon, going around. And yeah, of course, I've known Lav for, I guess, almost 10 years now, 10 years. The first time we worked together was Lullaby to the Sorrowful Mystery. And then, we co-wrote a film called Mañanita, which competed in Tokyo and other projects. He even acted in one of my films. Yeah. And, when Lav emails you, it's almost as if it's a poem or a script, So when I read the email, seeking for some assistance, it was just an automatic yes. And I'm always here for him. We actually call he's like my brother. I always say that. So I love collaborate with him. I think for me, most importantly, it's just how much I get to learn from him. It's I myself, a filmmaker, I consider him almost like a mentor to me, and just being in his universe, around his team, it's just so inspiring. And I didn't think from Quezon we'd be now here in Venice. It's my first time, and so thank you, Lav, for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Hi, I'm Ruben Nepales from Rappler. I'll pick up what Paulo said about Love being a master. So if I can ask each of the actors to describe what it was like to be directed by the master, Lav Diaz, their experiences about it.
Cliche as it may sound, but it's always a pleasure, and I'm so grateful to be directed by the master director from the Philippines, of the Philippines. It's so surreal to be part of this film because it's my first time. It's my first international travel, and I'm so grateful to Lav and the Lav team and to Sir Paul Soriano for all the support. Thank you so much.
Maybe don't. Yeah, right.
Hello, I received an email from Hazel, and she told me that Love wanted me to act in this film. And I said yes, even if Love wants me to be killed in the film, I'm willing to do that because it's Love, no? So I was told to go to San Paulo, Quezon. Actually, I was told that my role is about a singer. Yeah, you wanted me to sing. Love wanted me to sing in the film, but it turned out that I think Love has this shortage of time to make melodies for the poetry that I did in the film. So I love my role because I'm a songwriter. I'm a writer. So
He's a rock
I
star.
really love the language because I write in our own language, Filipino, Tagalog. So I am very honored to be part of this film because I really love to speak our own language. So Love is yeah, it's very rock and roll. Yeah.
Dong Aba is a rock star in our country. He's a poet. He's a rock artist in our country. You should seek his albums. It's great. Iano and Damo.
Yeah.
Bands,
Yeah.
Great albums.
Yeah. Thank you.
Janine, yeah, but I'll.
It was always my dream to work with Direct Lav, and luckily enough, I worked with Hazel on a TV series, and I kept telling her, Ate, if there's ever a chance that you need anything, I'll also do anything in your film, even if you kill me in the bushes, I'll do it. And luckily enough, I was able to join them on this film. And before I met Direct Lav, I asked the other actors that I had worked with, like, how should I act? Like, how can I prepare and do a good job for Direct Lav? And everybody told me the same thing, that Direct Lav is really just rock and roll. And true enough, when I worked with him, his set is very family style. It's equal collaboration from everyone on the set, from Direct Lav to the audio to the costumes. It's such an intimate set, and although the topics can be very deep and painful, on set it's really about love and family and filmmaking, and I think that translates also when you watch his films. That's why there's so much empathy and you really go through the stories of these characters. So I'm so happy to be here also with this team.
Hazel, no, first Hazel and then Ronnie, please.
I've been with Love for 13 years now. So, but every film is still a different story. And of course, this one is different. Because of the story that Lav said earlier about the project almost not being pushed. So thank you, Paul. Yeah, it's always a rest. I call it a rest. It doesn't feel like work acting with Lav. It always feels like we're just resting because you don't really feel tired. You just feel tired being in the role, acting, but like the environment and all. My team is so supportive with each other. Our actors are supportive of each other, and yeah, I of course I would always say that I always love working with Love.
There. What do I say? We are very lucky to be part of Lab's journey, and many actors in the Philippines are, I'm sure, envious with what we are attaining at this point in time because they really want to work with Love. And we are the chosen few that Love has engaged into his work. And like everybody was saying, working with Love is like a vacation. It's no pressure. That's why you get to be more creative about it because when there's a lot of pressure, you, as an artist, you can't deliver that much freedom to it. So it's always nice working with Love. Thank you.
A question for Lav. This is a story that centers on a character who goes on a personal journey of redemption. So my question is about the notion of redemption. Do you believe indeed that someone like him, someone who has been committing some crimes, realizing that he killed people, can really redeem himself? Is there redemption?
Yeah, I still have faith in humanity. We're rational beings. We're animals, of course, but we're rational beings. And we can do things that can change things. I think man can change, no matter how deep he's a beast on criminality or anything. Man is a moral being. I believe in that. I have faith in humanity.
Yes, please. This time first, and yeah.
I'll ask Paul a follow-up question because I think what you did here is a heroic because given the bleak commercial landscape of cinema, even the commercial cinema is, I think, suffering. So can you elaborate some more on why you decided to finance a Phantosmia, especially in the context of how difficult it is, especially for a cinema like this to be produced in the Philippines?
No, you're right. I mean, Philippine cinema today, at least from a business perspective, is probably at one of its lowest points in maybe the last 50 years. Personally, I've been in the business for about 17, 18 years, and it's passion first over business. It's craft, it's art over revenues for me. My company, we've been afloat. For the last 7, we haven't really made, the big box office Philippine movies, but we're afloat. And if I can follow my passion and just continue to support artists, master artists like Lavin, and then these wonderful actors to create stories that are not just for our local audience, but for a world audience, it's worth it for me. Obviously, we do have a business model to keep the company, afloat, But when projects like this come to my plate, it's an easy yes. And again, I'm story driven too. So when Lav pitched the story, and like I said, his email was, it was just beautifully written. And if I can, I will. That's just probably that way. If I can, I will. Obviously, I can't support everything, but for me, it's the passion of filmmaking, the craft of these artists, if over business any day for me. So I guess I just follow that, and so far it's led me to some great experiences like this. We'll see where this film takes us.
Hello again. I just want to ask the actors like Hazel and Ronnie and Janine, how did they prepare for their roles? I know Hazel's like the villain here, and Janine's the victim, and Ronnie the lead. So can you talk about how you prepared for your roles?
How do I? I'm the kind of actor who prepares. I actually don't prepare, you know. I just read the script last minute. Even if the lines are long, I memorize easily. And I think of the character just last minute. So whatever, however I interpret the role per scene, it's so fresh, you know. It's so fresh from reading the script and the feeling that you get from just reading it last minute. It's so effective for me. So that's how I usually prepare in general as an actor.
It's quite interesting how Direct Lav works. It's not like anyone else I've ever worked with because I said yes to his films without knowing anything about them. So there's not much really preparation involved. I think the most I can say is really just openness and trust in the team, which is something that you really feel when you step onto Direct Lav set. Like Ate Hazel, I usually read the lines like on the morning of. And it's so funny because at night, before our shoot days, the cast and I message each other on our phones and say, what do you think will happen with the story tomorrow? And surprisingly, we can never predict where Direct Lab will bring the story. So it's really about just openness and also, I guess Direct Lav gives us actors so much freedom. He's the type that he'll show us the frame and see that, oh, you can walk from here to here and you can do whatever you want, rock and roll. So I guess that kind of trust also encourages honesty from an actor, and we're so grateful to be able to work in that setting.
I guess it's because Lab and I go back a long way. It's almost like psychic that I know where his mind is going, and along the way, of course. But in this particular project, very much I could relate because I grew up in the area where, yeah, this story about especially in Mindanao, where long war between the people living there, I would say. As a child growing up, I was very much affected by it, and there was a lot of fear. Where will this war go? It might reach my island. It might, create chaos all over because it was really wild and violent. And yeah, I know there were a lot of displaced people and many stories regarding this movie that I have seen, heard, read, and could really relate to it. So Hilarion Sabala, my character, Love painted it that way that I know I suit and understand this character very much. Thank you.
Love, a question for you that is connected to what Ronnie just mentioned. Your stories are oftentimes very much related to a certain specific backdrop, meaning the location, the choice of the location, and the choice of the history of those locations, what happened there, and what the bigger scope of history with capital H has been bringing to those places. So I would like you to tell us something, especially for those who are not from the Philippines, about the choice of the places where you shot and that you have imagined for this story, and the kind of setup of the events that are nourishing the story.
Yeah, my process is always, I write the script during the shoot, but there's a lot of preparations on finding the real geographical, the very physical setup where I want to set the narrative, the trajectory of the story. So if there's an idea, I look for places where I can map out, the whole setup of this universe that I'm going to create again. And once I see the place and I'm confident that it's gonna take place in that place. That's when I build and check where the characters will move. So that kind of process, and at some point I'm gonna, anchor the story on a certain epoch or period in not just in the Philippine history, in humanity's history. It's easy to contextualize a story if you have a certain very specific period. Like in this case, it's 1979. So it's a it's a period where there's a lot of violence in the place where I grew up. Really, really violent confrontations between Christians and Muslims, and then the military and the communist movement. There's a lot of, I witnessed a lot of, like 2 massacres I witnessed, where one time my elder brother and I were going back from school, and the little village, Muslim village where we were passing by every day, all the houses were razed to the ground, and then bodies are being piled up by the military. They were massacred by a Christian militia group. So I witnessed these things, and yeah, it's easy to anchor a narrative if there's an epoch and there's a particular, geographical location that I want. Yeah.
Please, on the 3rd row here, the microphone. One moment.
Jareen, talk about your experience, because in the context of now you're in the oldest film festival in the world and one of the most prestigious. So what's your experience so far?
I'm so excited. It's really a dream come true for me, and I'm just so happy and ecstatic to be here. I watched 2 films on the first day I got here. I've been messaging Ate Hazel every day about being so excited to be here, and it's always been a dream of mine to really be part of like local Filipino films that make it to the global stage. I know there's so much talent in the Philippine film industry, and there's so much potential there, and I'm so happy to be with the group of people who feel the same way, like what Direk Paul said, that it's not really about revenue, and I feel the same way. It's really about like these important stories that need to be heard the world over, and uniquely Filipino point of view, and I'm just so happy to be here and be with all of you. So I just can't stop smiling. Thank you.
Maybe, Janine, you're in love right now. No. It's a joke, girl.
I told you Direct Lav is very funny, as I said.
Mr. Abay, and tell us what the poetry that you did. I was really impressed. Was that?
It was written by Lav.
Wow.
So Lav is the real poet. Yeah, it's yeah. He knows the language. Yeah, and I love pronouncing the lines, the rhymes, everything that he wrote. And I even gave him a shirt because I was wearing a shirt. It's a Makata and it was a special shirt. And when I saw Lav from the first day of the shoot, I gave it to him. We have the same size, small. So I think, yeah, he's a poet. He's a real poet for me. Speaking as a, no, I'm not a poet. I'm just, I'm just being, I just love writing.
He's just being humble about it. He wrote great poetry.
Yeah.
You listen to his songs. Wow.
Yeah. I've been doing this writing for about 30 years, so I'm a Filipino rock star. So yeah, but I'm not bragging. Yeah.
It was really impressive. And also for PJ, can you tell us any memorable experience while doing this movie?
Every day is, for me, every day is memorable because when we receive our scripts, it's always long lines. The difference between doing movies in film in other film production or outfit, most of the lines are what do you call it? Short lines. But with Direct Love, you always you need to trust the lines. You need to trust Direct Love every day. So he knows where to. He knows very well too. But yeah, I really love my character. This is my fourth, or if I'm not mistaken, this is my fourth or fifth film with Direct Love. But this one is the major role that he gave to me. So I'm so honored and I'm so thankful and grateful to Direct Love.
One final question from the floor. Just a moment, the mic is coming.
My question this time is for Ronnie. Thanks to Love and to you, we get a sense of what Phantosmia is. For many of us who watch the film, it's our first time to get to know that there's such a condition exists. So, what was your research like? Because watching the film, you do get a sense just watching you that you have that unease that you're smelling something that nobody else can smell.
Oh, thank you. How do you say it? You live it. The character, you live it. So you don't act, because you are the one already doing it. It's an experience. I'm lucky to have witnessed the same experience, somehow not as close as Direct Love had, but I feel that anxiety and fear while those events were happening. So it's almost easy to get those emotions in my craft. So it's something that I don't have to act. It's something I have to live and share to people. The horrors of war. War. Thank you.
I am afraid our time is up. I would
Thank
like
you,
to
guys.
thank. Oh, Lav, do you want to add
No,
something?
I said thank you.
No, I'll thank. Okay, the time is up, so I would like to thank all the journalists who were here with us, and of course, I would like to thank Lav and his team for bringing Phantosmia to Venice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.